Ooh, new cat unlocked. Ooh, we could get another mysticality. Yes! Just gonna have to go back to every place we've been to. Hang on a second, if I'm gonna go adventure mode, I need to pick up a few things. She returns a few minutes later with a rectangle of white plastic poking out of her shirt pocket. Is that a pocket protector? Yep, got a holster my slide rule too. You're gonna have a word for what you are in about 30 years, and it's gonna be nerd. 30 years after that, we're gonna be ruling the world, so watch your step, buddy. Haha. Nope, just a regular house. That doesn't have any radio. Huh. This wasn't here before. Piece of eye. Oh, this is spooky. Throbbing ring of negative energy around the pair of dark shorts. Close it. With great effort, you manage to drag one side of the rift to the other with the pliers and wrench the whole thing closed. Or ply it closed, I guess. I guess wherever there's some weird shadowy thing that happens, there's a rift that we need to fix. Look at that alley. There's an old newspaper vending machine next to the dumpster. Oh yeah, that's kind of out of the way, but it doesn't get many sales. I suspect someone threw it away? Well, no wonder its sales are bad. Simone takes a couple of bobby pins out of her hair and bends them into complicated shapes and jiggles them in the machine's lock until it pops open. Can't have been that bad. There's a fair amount of meat in here still. Here, you can have half. Thanks. Giant ice cube. Sure, why not? Not the most ridiculous thing you'll do for this week. You might think that a block of ice as tall as you would be difficult to carry around, and you'd be right. Didn't I already have this? The moment I get out, it's gonna melt. But where would I use a giant ice cube? Shadow Plier. I don't think there's any radios in a church. Speaking of hell, Father, I got some vampires to deal with, and I was wondering if you could spare some holy water? Certainly, our font is right over there. Please help yourself. Well, thing is, I need a whole lot of it. You'd have to fill an industrial boiler. It's like about 100 gallons. My goodness me. Well, if you can provide the water, I can bless it for you. I can also do ice if that's more convenient. I believe we would work with about 15 cubic feet. I just so happen to have a block of ice. A 15 cubic feet in volume right on me right now, Father. You set the block of ice down with a thud. Why, so you do. Alright, I'd be happy to bless this for you. He mumbles under his breath and makes some religious gestures at a huge block of ice. There you go, as holy a block of ice as I have ever seen. Thanks, Father. Well, I guess that's an easier way to do this other than getting 15 mysticality. What's down here? Close it. Ooh, fishermen have set up a casino. Fun. Wink. Watch for a while. This game continues to consist of throwing a handful of pebbles and rusty nails on the table. It's both very simple and very vague. The player next to you puts some fishman eggs on the table. The croupier picks up the pebbles and nails and hands them to the player, who shakes them up and scatters them across the table. The croupier seems impressed. He nods at the player, who picks up one of the nails and tosses it again. The croupier adds a large pile of eggs to the player's bed, and the player grabs them with a burbling cry of joy and greed. You continue to watch the action, hoping to glean some understanding. The gambler sets some eggs down and looks at the dealer. The dealer hands the pebbles and nails to the player, who kisses them and sends them flying onto the table. The croupier peers at the pails and pebbles and nods. The player thinks for a moment, picks up a nail and tosses it onto the table again. When it comes to a stop, the croupier shrugs and makes a small gesture. The player makes a glub noise and takes his eggs back. I have no idea what's going on here. I feel like this is just nonsense. Well, I'll place a bet once. Yeah, I don't understand it. Oh, wait. This narrow pipe leads to a different part of the sewers. Yell into it. Thankfully, nobody answers. Well, I guess that's one way to... back to the steam tunnels, I guess. Advanced projectile physics. Grants a range damage perk. Nah. Ooh, radio. Just gotta check if any other places have radios. Oh, there's a radio. Don't know why there's a radio in this Fishman sauna. Oh. Ooh, there's another one. You get the sense that these are actually the clean dishes. This pot is catching all the grease that drips down through the ceiling. You got too much nasty goo already, don't need to fish up more. Well. Knocks a tin bucket full of raw, chopped up fish parts onto the counter and garnish it with lemon wedge. Then he makes an expansive gesture at it like a used car salesman and waggles all 10 of his fingers at you. Buy it. Takes your meat excitedly, pushes the bucket towards you along with a bent tin fork and a hardly used paper napkin. You're pretty sure you see one of the fish heads switch as you pick up the bucket. You got a bucket of chum. This bucket contains a feast fit for a king, as long as the king of some kind of disgusting fish kingdom, and his throne is a gross toilet. Ugh. He reaches behind his counter for something else to sell you. He holds up the fishing spear with a hole still wiggling fish impaled on it. From his gestures and excited babbling, it seems like you get to keep the spear as the main selling point here. He asks how much. He flashes out stretched fingers at you twice. Oh, fishman throwing spear. What else you got? Glass bottle filled with some kind of oil. Freshly squeezed. Fish liver oil. Bucket of chum on the counter. Holds up third hand. 10 the first time. Harden says market price. Okay. Given this cat's condition, it can only be named Stinky. Oh, I'm gonna need stench armor. What do I have? I have 3 stench armor. Get me a gas mask. Pet him. Give sleaze armor. Ah, here we go. Consider the boiler. If you could replace the water in the boiler with holy water, that would put enough crimp in their fun. You'd only need about 100 gallons of it. Where am I gonna get 100 gallons of holy water? Don't ask me, I'm just suggesting things. Wait, aren't vampires also allergic to running water even if it isn't holy? Does steam count as running water? Toss the holy iceberg into the boiler. You heat a giant ice cube into the boiler, and the steam immediately becomes sort of nicer, whiter, and just a little bit sparkly, like a cloud that an angel would sit on while playing a harp. Well, that's probably just your imagination. What isn't, though, is the vampire screaming and melting into acrid puddles of goo. Phew. And we went full circle. Ooh, I can tear its head off with wooden statue with a metal diving helmet for a head. 9 muscle, huh? Can I get that much? Filter for muscle. Got the sports shorts. And a amethyst choker. Yes, that's just enough. Hair's head off. Hey, this is actually a real diving helmet. Good instincts. Let you breathe underwater, presumably. This old diving helmet still has enough air in it to last you as long as you'll remain interested in diving. Well, I'll consider this later. Greasy Steve greets you with a relieved grin. Kid, I honestly didn't expect to see you again. You got a real talent. I was nothing. Nah, don't sell yourself short. You got a real future in the organization. You got a briefcase full of meat. That's probably the last job you gained from me. You dealt a fatal blow to the bloodsuckers in this territory, so if the boss does any more work for you, it'll be somewhere else. Good luck, kid. Thanks, Steve. See you around. I guess we go back to Ocean City to pick up any additional jobs. Wink. You dialed the number. Tak, Sucham, Kao, Diga, Bueno, Moshi Moshi, Toblerone, Guten Tag, Salunga, Met, Donald. Hello, Ala, Damoli. Stick to English or I quit. Your resistance to international forms of communicating may prove have a hindering effect on you in the future. Our organization possesses ambitions of operating worldwide wise. I'll jump off that bridge when I get to it. What do you need? An incomplex requisition. A team of our operatives transporting a shipment of alcohol through the local wetlands encounters difficulties and were compelled to abandon their submarine. The wetlands proved to be drier than we had anticipated. So you need me to recover the booze. Where do you want me to take it? You may retain the booze as your recompense. Our only requiration is that not be acquired by prohibition agents for fear that it may discover our fingerprints upon it. Oh yeah, glass bottles do take fingerprints pretty readily. The bottles as well, yes, that is an excellent point. He gives you direction to the wrecked submarine. Location unlocked. Mob submarine. Huh, well, I'm on my way. First, let's check if there's any other radios. Radio. That should do it for now. Alright, we go to Mob Submarine. Honk. Thundering honk rattles the trees. Birds flee. Fish hide. You don't know what creature gave this honk, but you know it rules the swamp through fear. Might be a goose. Ooh, hoboglyph. Some hobogo painted on the tail fin. Disappointing lack of sandwiches inside. Ah well, forewarned is forearmed, I guess. This is a porthole. You can just barely make out a chart on the wall of the submarine. Look closer. You strain your eyes, but the chart is either slightly too far away and the submarine is slightly too dark, or some combination of those two factors. Strain your eyes. Years of study have taught you how to deliberately damage your eyes in order to learn things. Those years of study finally pay off as the text on the chart reveals itself. Torpedo 2 pressure, 19 psi. Good old 19 psi, classic pressure value. If there's a porthole, you can see the darkness inside a submarine. In a way, the submarine reflects the darkness inside all of us. This hatch leads down to the submarine. Open and climb in. It's a periscope, which is a device for looking at guys named Perry. No Perry's in the horizon today, Captain. hatches could enable torpedo, including a period. Back had the submarines blocked by an impenetrable tangle of roots. Pipe is clogged. Unclog it. There you go, Russian clogs. Dancing Russian plumber's favorite and least favorite thing. Hilarious. Washer meat contains a very nasty hat. Nothing more aggressive than a sailor who's angry that the hat is all gross. The wheel in the hatch is stuck fast. No amount of grunting or straining will make it go round and round. The control label has a big dial labeled internal pressure. Turn the dial. Put to 19. Hear a small burst of steam as the pressure changes. You open the torpedo tube and recover the mob shipment of booze. Ooh, you got a barrel of tequila. There's a hatch leading to the submarine's lower deck. You open the hatch to discover the lower deck is completely flooded. You need some kind of breathing apparatus if you want to go down there. Fine. Make use of the diving helmet. I can fish first. You can't fish through the closed door, and it's not close. And it closes if you're not holding it. Aw. Torpedoes have been ruined by water. Somebody should have damned them. This crate has been crusted shut by freshwater barnacles. Ironically, this is a crate of rust remover. Lock on this lockbox is rusted away, making it just a regular box. See what's inside. Riches! Riches were inside. You're not sure if this is enough silver bars to count as a trove, but it's at least a heap. They'll sell for a pretty penny. What happens if I take it off? You don't want to drown, so you can't change your hat while you're underwater. Well, I guess we can first tell Don Toblerone that we did the job. Hold him up back. Hallo informen grot radio. Mijn naam is Don Toblerone and ik spreken you on the telephone. English. Dutch is nearly English. Endeavor to not be so culturally unsophisticated. It will impede your personal growth. Anyway, your submarine boost is safe. Bravo. You are certain to enjoy a fight if it is our newest vintage. Your next assignment will be to renovate an elderly and formerly abandoned radiophonic transmissile station. Renovated? Renovated as such that it no longer contains any vampires. We are apprehensive to the possibility that they will use the equipment contained therein to drop eaves upon our privatational communications. Well, I certainly wouldn't wish that on anyone. But whatever, I know the place you mean. I already cleared all the vampires out of there. A fortuitous revelation. Your expediency is really off of the charts, so to speak. Your payment shall be delivered to your bed adjacent furniture forthwith. Here's someone opening the window in your bedroom. Swell. You place a glowy orb thing on your knick-knack shelf. The cool plasma ball from the Radio Shack is still crackling away on the shelf. Consider the orb. You gaze in the orb for a while. You gain it. Gazer, you consider the orb, but have you considered whether the orb was also considering you? Yes, very good. We got +1 mysticality out of that. Yoink. Another briefcase, another note. Slime. The success of your swamp-derived mission performance has not gone unnoticed. The boss is duly impressified. DT. You got a briefcase full of meat. The boss, huh? Wow. No message right now. Let's go to Largemouth Bass and Sons. Here's a grisly sight. The carcass of some kind of swamp animal covered in huge ticks. Oh no, wait. Some of them are all buzzing around the air. Are they actually wasps? Aha, it turns out both things can be true. They're tick wasps, which are notable for being the only insect that can stab you with both ends. You got Wasp Clasp. And extra blood. Largemouth Bass and Sons. State your business. I'm here about the missing children. Tom and Kathy, yeah, that's a sad song. I need to talk to, I guess either Mr. Chapman or Mr. Tracy about that. But I wouldn't let either of them know that you even speak to the other bosses. They don't talk anymore. Why don't the bosses speak to one another? Between you and me, 3,600 and 3,600 largemouth bass. Mr. Chapman and Tracy haven't been on speaking terms since Mr. Chapman was snubbed at the Academy Awards a few years back. We tolerate each other only because they form a function vital to the business. Which is? Mr. Tracy debones the fish and Mr. Chapman rebones them. Only then are the fish ready for sale to market. Are you saying that you take out the fish's bones and then put them back in? It's tradition for generations. Chapman has deboned the bass and the Tracy rebones them. That unique process of what gives our bass its distinctive tang. What goes on at this place? A largemouth bass and sons? We sell largemouth bass, and most of us are sons. What do you think happened to the kids? If you ask me, that's what I just did. Hell, they ran off. This life ends for everyone, and Tom and Kathy never had the makings of a largemouth bass deboner or reboner. Hope you're not planning on sticking that rod in there. Largemouth bass is the exclusive license to fish those waters. I mean, I can fish here? No, largemouth sons has the fishing rights. Okay, I'll be a good boy. The sign identifies these waters as a site of historical importance. This pool is the birthplace of the largest mouth Luke, a bass present at the BA signing of the Declaration of Independence. On August 2nd, 1792, he returned to his home waters to die, but his body was never found. 1792, huh? That sounds like an excuse to go back to Ocean City. There it is. You'll find something interesting. Died. Largest mouth Luke. Bass fish. Large. Oh, so it did die. Ooh, what you got? Mooch. You briefly lose track of where you're going because of all these big wet trees look the same. You stumble across a ramshackle dwelling bearing the unmistakable aroma of illicit distillation. The guard eyes you suspiciously. Are the shotguns keeping you out, or something else in? Here's I'm going inside. This grizzled mariner must hate being stuck behind a desk. With a knife with a deboner doth still shape the largemouth bass, and the world through our action there are legion who do not believe and would tear down thy work. Book of Carrot. Empty to magnify the misfortune of my stolen daughter. When did this happen? 3 nights ago. I'm still in shock. Can't even muster the strength to close the safe. I can do that for you. It's not hard. Would you? Sure. Bless you. Greetings, as a mariner, do you hate being stuck behind the desk? Excuse me, I make 6 figures a year behind this desk and mind your manners. You're addressing Adam Tracy, Chief of Deboning Officer at Largemouth Bass and Sons. Are you here about Kathy? Saw some posters about missing children? That's right. 3 nights ago, Kathy disappeared along with all her clothes and possessions. Contents of that safe there, and the company truck. Oh, and the Chapman kid. I think she might have run away from home. I'll excuse the remark as you don't know my Kathy, but suffice to say that's impossible. Kathy loves largemouth bass almost as much as assuming preordained roles in a multi-generational family business. No, Kathy would not simply leave home. There's a much simpler explanation. Occam's gator. Occam's gator? A monstrous gator, man. Centuries old, 10 feet tall, feet an inch. With scales as blue as the deepest ocean. He has 2 tails as sharp as razors. He's not afraid to shave you. His appetites are insatiable. Strike at night and gobble up our fish, guns, tax returns, whatever. And now I fear my Kathy. I don't know what we did to provoke his ire, but that beast has bullied and bothered our business since my grandfather was in taller pants. I sometimes think if the swamp itself has summoned it up to be our tormentor. Our friend Charles is missing. Could Hawkins have taken him too? Certainly it's possible, but I don't think the criminality of Hawkins' skater knows any bounds. If the Occam's 8 cappy, aren't we too late? Not necessarily. Occam's only handicap is his glacially slow digestion. Go ask Sylvester, a guard of ours. It was swallowed up by the Occams, but by stripping off in his belly and greasing his body in Occam's own fat, was able to slither up and out of Occam's jaws while the great beast slept. Okay, where can I find Sylvester? I don't know. We had to terminate him for attempting to unionize. You think the Opter is King Occam's Gator 8 cappy? You have to understand, for decades Occam's Gator has been the sole author of this business misfortune. Could he eat a child? Absolutely. That's his MO, or monstrous operandi. Is there a finder's fee if I find her? 300 meat and my grandfather's fishing rod, but I'm running the show, alright? Not Chapman. I know he's got a missing boy too, but you can't involve a reboner in an operation like this. Far too emotional. If you're dealing with me, you keep him out of it. Let me think about it. Sure, I'll be here while you think. My daughter will be diving inside the belly of a gator. You're not close enough to recess. Yes, I am. Academy of Fresh Saltwater Gamefish. Certificate of nomination for award. Let it be known that Adam Tracy was nominated for an Aquademy Award of Merit for Outstanding Achievement. Best Deboning. Bass. Looking for something? What's back there? Crew quarters off limits. You live here? Where the fish live, we live. Can I go inside? No, that's the space for the Tracy family, like our crypt. Can I go to that? You better not. It's the mess through there. I don't mind. I don't mean it's messy. I'm saying that's a room where we have meals. It's that type of mess. I thought they only use that term in the armed forces. You don't consider fishing to be a part of armed forces? What do you think we used to hold the rods? Arms? That's right. What's this guard who got eaten by the Occam's gator? Sylvester didn't get eaten by anybody. I told him to say that because it was the only excuse possible except for a 2-hour lunch break. What can you tell you about largemouth Luke? I've seen him, you know, eh? He's not dead like they say. How long can a largemouth bass live? Normally only 20 years or so, but largemouth Luke is a special fish. Maybe someday I'll see him again. Love my job, getting paid to look at fish. Chum bucket is some guy. Stranger is just a chum you haven't met yet. Bucket adheres to the floor. Those are decorative, and the chum inside is the very first batch of chum ever made by largemouth bass and sons back in the summer of 1803. Reminds us of our humble revoltings. Can I have it? No. This chum bucket is inscribed champagne for my real chums, real pain for my sham chums. Chum pain for my real chums, real pain for my chum chums. That one's a little more esoteric. What lies beyond the door is only for fishermen. What is it? Fish? Can I fish here? Ha! Fishermen's cats are a touchy sort, and regard unproven outsiders with the highest suspicion. You can't avoid your touch. You get the sense that only true loyalty to the fisherman's cause will overcome suspicions of you. Lo, with the reboning knife of the righteous has been a complete bass has been forged. It's back to your quarters. How would you know that? That's where Mr. Tracy has his. Here the two of you are more similar than you like to admit. Back up, Freud. Can I go inside? Into our family's private quarters. I assume to let dogfish loose into my socks. That's something you do? Rarely. This must be the mess, right? It is. Where we proudly serve reboned fish. Just the way we like it. I don't want to see you slipping any bones out of that fish, you hear? Can I go inside? I don't see any need for that. That's a failure of imagination on your part. I'll live. Surely a fisherman yearns for glorious death at sea and not to wind up behind a desk. Hello there, I wonder. Do you ever wish you had a glorious death at sea? Ho-ho! Many a creature has tried to give me one, bucko, but before they can get their teeth in me, I rebone them 6 ways to Sontag. Spits while chewing tobacco out the door. G. Chapman, Chief Reboning Officer of Largemouth Bass and Sons. You hear about Tom? A lot of posters about missing children. Find one child and you'll find the other. My Tom has been lured into a lair of Occam's gator by that Jezebel of a deboner's daughter. A good and true fisherman led astray by a delinquent sorceress who never cared a Walt Whitman about what we do here with largemouth bass. Think Tom could have run away on his own? Absolutely not. Tom's a third-generation bass boy, proud and true. Just Last month he said, "I'm excited about my future in reboning largemouth bass, Dad." Does that sound like the words of a boy with one foot out the door? No, there's a simpler explanation. Siren saw Kathy Tracy who lures good men into the bellies of gators. Occam's Gator. Gator, I heard of him. Chapman's cheeks darkened to the murky hue of a humpback anglerfish. Long as there has been a largemouth bass in the sun, there has been an Occam's Gator, to our great misfortune. I venture that no creature, land nor sea, quite so terrible. 12 foot tall as he is, red as a furnace, with smoke billowing from his nostrils. He and his rapacious appetites are plaguing our business. He'll eat everything we got. Largemouth bass, everything. Keeps me up at night, wondering what we did to deserve him. Is it a sin against the land to both debone and rebone fish? Perhaps. Perhaps. Damn it! That's what gives our bass its zing! How is Kathy responsible? Oh, the arrogance of youth. Kathy Tracy never thought she had anything to fear from Occam's Gator. She didn't respect him. Several times I caught her attempting to summon the beast by shouting his name 3 times in a mirror, or directly into the mouth of the bass. It was always going to end with her in Occam's belly. I just didn't think my Tom would be a fool enough to go along with it. That's a little sexist, don't you think? Not remotely. I'm not saying anything about her gender at all. I'm only saying that she may have gotten my boy eaten by a gator man. When you throw the words like Jezebel around, that's a little loaded. Isn't? I didn't mean anything by it. I'm willing to change. But you have to be patient with me, alright? I'm an old-fashioned. You can't keep up with this new ideas your generation has. Gender, penicillin. Here's our finder's fee. 200 meat, mother's fishing rod for the entree. 100 cat on Tracy's dime. Tom that needs saving. He's saving from her. That's what... Condition. Oh, I also need to find Tom. That's 2 conditions. To the special fishing rod? Not this. I'll tell you why. It has never caught a fish. Oh, that sounds worse than a normal fishing rod. Never caught a fish. Always catches 2. Don't know how it works. Don't want to know how it works. We just thank this item for the bounty. Let me think about it. Looking for some myself. Charles Wallace? See a fish? No. I'm not the person to speak. I'm a fisherman, friend. My bag is fish. Looking for a human. You ought to be asking sort of a human fisherman. Aha! You are a human fisherman. His compassion turned sour. Now that you poke a hole in his premise, he had lost interest in his conversation. Okay, I don't know where your friend is, alright? What's so special about your fishing rod? You can catch things that your scientists would say are impossible to find in water. So it doesn't catch fish? Yes, fish, but also impossible things. Let's come back to that one later. Burly hunter trotting through the mud gives a holler. As he nears, you see he's toting a shotgun under one arm and carrying a pile of gator hides over his shoulder. What are you doing? Swamp's no place for a little kid. Gators will eat you alive. Take this. Get yourself a seat on the next bus out. Well, that's, not enough money for the bus? Fine, take it. But go! Okay, I'm not a little kid, by the way.